item, which is work from home. In the time of coronavirus, when people are grounded at home, the companies needs to push employees to work from home. How does our platform really give you the benefit of creating a remote access to all of your solutions, which is either SAP, CRM, or any kind of platform or services you are using within your organization? So how do you access that using NetFoundry? We'll also try to look at the real demonstration of the console, the platform, software platform as a service for NetFoundry, where we will try to show you that how it is easy that within minutes you are able to create a work from home solution. And then our friend Mr. Toto from ViBiCloud will talk about a special offer which we are supporting the industry with. That's a special offering pricing in the time of COVID-19 to support how do you subscribe work from home package from us. We will then take question and answers. And if the time permits, if any of you will be interested, we have got almost 8 to 10 different use cases in the industry around the cloud business, and we can talk about that if the time permits. So let's look at what NetFoundry is first, and it's important to have that confidence built. NetFoundry has been an innovation platform which was built within the Tata Group, who owns Jaguar, Land Rover, almost 100 plus companies, has incubated a startup which was supposed to build innovation around the cloud native networking technology, where the challenge is around telecom companies to take 2 months, 3 months time to create a connectivity to the cloud or otherwise was supposed to be the core for innovation. We have, and I'll talk about what that innovation is in a later part. If you see that we have been awarded by Forbes, we have been given multiple other awards. We've been used by VMwares and IBMs and many other technology providers around the world, and it's important to get that confidence to know that who are these companies, what kind of awards are that. So near you in Singapore, we were awarded by Singapore Business Review for our cloud connectivity to a very popular company which operates in Indonesia, also called FWD Insurance. We have done a complete network transformation for them. And just not that, but we would like to then talk about some of the other stuff where we can really look at that how industry is actually helping and using NetFoundry. So let's talk about our greatest alliance, Microsoft. Microsoft is a company which has chosen NetFoundry for 5 of its initiatives. First, Microsoft Azure Virtual WAN, where Virtual WAN was created, and NetFoundry was the only software company in the entire list of companies who were the part of Technology Alliance, which has used to provide Azure Virtual WAN. Recently, Microsoft has created Office 365 networking. NetFoundry was amongst the large corporations like Citrix to be chosen for providing this Office 365 networking services. Microsoft last month announced to create a 5G based mobile edge computing services, and NetFoundry was again chosen as part of that, as you see in the list over here, amongst other providers. CRN has awarded NetFoundry to be one of the top 10 hottest networking tools last year. So the CRN is one of the most popular companies to talk about technology partnerships and so on. That actually established the connection that the tools, networking tools NetFoundry provides is globally popular and has become one of the most popular cloud platform as a service for connectivity and networks. IBM Cloud, IBM Watson, which for robotics and artificial intelligence, has embedded NetFoundry into their platform to create the SIP trunking and voice to text, text to voice services. Amazon Web Services has embedded NetFoundry and has been providing Amazon's cloud connectivity into their platform for migration services, data migration services, and other services. The companies like ViBiCloud, which is VMware, has announced partnership with NetFoundry a couple of years back for building their SD-WAN portfolio. So essentially what I'm trying to show all of you is that it's important for you to understand that NetFoundry, while may not be something which you have heard before, but we have been very strong in the industry with a lot of large technology providers and have been providing services to a lot of global conglomerates. So let's look at our technology alliances. Who are these companies? So you have heard about Microsoft, and you see there are pillars of Microsoft where we are the only company which is in all the 5 pillars, whether it's Microsoft Azure connectivity, Azure Stack, 5G edges, Azure Virtual WAN, Office 365, and we are also IP co-sell with Microsoft being the gold partner. We are the advanced technology partner with Amazon, the Google Cloud, Alibaba, IBM, DigitalOcean, Oracle. All these companies have embedded NetFoundry in the marketplace, and we are able to build and services connect. So if you as a customer are using any of the services, any of the cloud providers, you can use NetFoundry for this. There are customers, which you can see here are the customers who have trusted on us and has been able to use our platform as a service for creating network transformation, cloud transformation from their organization. So some of them are featured here. This is not the complete list, but most of the list which is there in the Asia Pacific region. Now, the question remains is that you know about NetFoundry, then why NetFoundry? What is that NetFoundry doing which is important for you to really take in the days where the physical presence, whether it's a connectivity, whether it's office building, is going to be difficult. Now, if you understand the application environment has changed, the application environment has changed in such a way that all applications have become overly distributed. You keep something in the data center, you keep something in the public cloud, you keep something in offices. Your application is not at one place. Your people are moving data center applications to the cloud. The legacy networks which were supposed to build for connecting offices are not supporting the cloud computing. The traditional technologies like VPN, MPLS, or private circuits lack agility. They're expensive. They don't have that much security process defined within it. They're easy to hack, and they take a lot of time to build services around cloud or connecting applications. So what does today's world require when you talk about applications in the cloud? First, it needs to be cloud native. That means the provider should be sitting inside every cloud provider where my application is running. I should be able to build an access and connectivity, which is very application specific. That means the provider should be knowing that where my SAP or CRM or any other application is sitting in which cloud or which data center, and what is the kind of performance my applications are actually looking at. So it has to be very application aware and application centric. It needs to be agile by design, that if I want it today, if I'm able to spin up a virtual machine in a cloud in 10 minutes, I should be able to connect cloud in 10 minutes and my offices and my users and applications. And above that, the hosted applications have now created new requirements, new challenges, and which is how do I migrate applications to the cloud? I have applications sitting in my data center in my office. How do we go there? How if I am migrating, my operations are ongoing and connectivity is not broken? I have hybrid cloud usage where I have something in data center, something in public cloud, how I can manage that together with the huge performance and security and compliances. So to give the answer for that, here is the NetFoundry platform, which we have built over creating huge innovation around machine learning, artificial intelligence, and the cloud platform as a service. It's on demand, instant, anytime, anywhere, independent of any network, a programmable software-defined platform, which can have, which has the capability to connect to any cloud, any data center, applications, users, offices in minutes of the time. It could be few minutes, could be within hours, depending on where the environment is. We are that agile. So we have created that kind of platform which is able to bring connectivity between multiple these environments. Second, we wanted to create something which can work in very remote areas where the underlay internet infrastructure is not good, the quality of internet is not good. So we are able to create a very performant, optimized network to connect back to these applications. That means we are able to give you 3 times to 10 times kind of performance optimization. Most of our customers have seen that. There are places where customers have seen almost 20 times performance. But at the same time, what's important in today's world is, and if you've heard about recent Zoom hacks and so on and so forth, the security, the cyber security has become one of the greatest pain. And we have built such a platform with 5 layers of security modeling that we became one of the first companies to bring in the zero trust networking modeling, the dark networking modeling with microsegmentation and AE256 into N encryption. No hacking, no DDoS possibles on that. So we will talk about the security. If you have questions around security, Kapil will be happy to answer. Ask him in the chat. And while providing all of this, we are able to provide 40 to 80% of cost saving, in the network transformation. If you're doing the network transformation for your existing legacy networks, connecting back to your office's data center, cloud applications and users. Now, I talked about the performance, and on that piece, I wanted to show you something where I am right now speaking from Singapore, and the Singapore's backbone is quite popular, quite as strong. But even in the Singapore system, I have just run a speed test few minutes back, and this can be done again, and this can be done and given to you in your environment, a proof that I have been able to do a 4 times faster optimization, even on the Singapore backbone, connecting to servers in US, and almost 8 times faster migration or the upload speed. So that's the kind of performance we are able to gain using NetFoundry. So this is one of the proof points, but there are others which we can talk about when we go more in detail. Let's understand more about NetFoundry. Now, while I talked about how NetFoundry platform works and what are the benefit it gives, let's understand how NetFoundry is different from the traditional way. So if you look at the railway tracks, how they're zigzagged and you set up them once, they are like your traditional networking options when you connect to a cloud provider, when you connect to your offices and environments. They're static, they are site to site. You set it up once, it takes 2 months, 3 months time. And tomorrow, if you want to change a site or a user accessing an application, or you are changing a cloud provider, it can't happen immediately. But the NetFoundry is a technology, whether we are creating application wide area network, application centric network, is like drones, which you can move from anywhere to anywhere at the click of a button. And in the demonstration, I'll be able to show you that how it is easy to move from one cloud provider to the another cloud provider, move from one home to another home, move from one user's access to one application to another user's access to another application. It's plug and play in case of NetFoundry. And so this is a new world. This is a futuristic technology which you can use for next many years, unlike what the legacy networks can't support, you cloud and remote access and so on. NetFoundry has also now brought things at mobile. So NetFoundry is available on iOS and Android. It has created a software development kit which is able to sit across multiple platforms, as you see on the screen. And we are able to even embed ourselves in the applications of providers. Somebody is a mobile app provider, insurance provider, or any kind of applications. NetFoundry as a software can get embedded in their application and can build that kind of performance, optimization, security back to the cloud, back to the users. Now, how does the NetFoundry platform look like when it operates in terms of orchestration? It's a simple. NetFoundry has got a global cloud play connecting back to multiple cloud providers. Some name is given there, but we have backbone across multiple cloud providers. So we create a whole orchestrated cloud fabric, a network fabric, which is then able to connect back to users any private data center, private cloud, IoT segments, whether it is on IoT gateways, IoT devices. And then we have got a management operation platform, which I will show the demo, and that is able to control the connections between all of this and able to configure connections between all of this, but in a way where the application is the top priority. That application access becomes the core in terms of how these needs to be orchestrated. Now, we have talked about the performance, and this is one of the things which is important for all of you to know before we go into the actual demonstration and understand about the work from home option, is that we have built a kind of capability driven by artificial intelligence and machine learning that we are able to understand and dynamically route your application data. So if you are accessing, say, from Indonesia to Singapore cloud or Indonesia to Tokyo or anywhere, at every second, NetFoundry will be able to do dynamic routing between multiple providers, understand where is the congestion, understand which route to be taken, because it is not dependent on a particular network provider. So we are connected to thousands of operators around the world via our cloud peering, ISP peering, and we are able to choose multiple paths. We are able to mask your traditional TCP/IP model traffic to an UDP model traffic, and we are able to move your data in a way that the performance you have seen, it is 3 times to 10 times. So in terms of performance optimization, if you have any questions in detail, we will be able to talk about that. In terms of security, it's important for you to know before you even understand what the offer in terms of remote access from home is concerned. In terms of security, we build 5 layers of security, and this 5 layer of security really consists of each endpoint. Each user has got its software firewall embedded into the endpoints. Each of the endpoints will authenticate before connecting the data plane. That means this is one of the unique features which no other networking services offer today, that your data cannot move from user back to anywhere else which you are supposed to move it until end-to-end authentication is done. We have strong microsegmentation of data done here because of data in motion networking, security, zero trust networking, which we are doing, where each data packets is broken into multiple segments, and each data packet segment in broken segments are then sent via multiple network providers. So even if one network provider is hacked, your data won't be hacked. Or even if your data is a broken piece is taken by someone, they can't decrypt the data. So then we have which is a fundamental of moving the surface attack. So if there are the data flows, each data flow is given access to a specific network segments based on the business's compliance and regulatory policies which you have created back to back. But most important thing is your data in motion protection, which is 80-56 end-to-end encryption. Now, in terms of the more security modeling and the aspects of security, if you are techies on the call and if you want to understand that how it works, feel free to ask questions, and Kapil will be able to take those questions and answer about security and the performance. Now let's talk about work from home solution, for which we are asking that how this works, what is the offer. Essentially, it was important to establish the platform understanding before we really go. So there are the 2 components of work from home. First, we understand the problem area. The problem area for today, when the employees are grounded at home, they have no option but to access their critical application. Imagine a finance guy who needs to process the payroll, needs to access the payroll software from home, which was never planned. So there are challenges in the firewalls for enterprises. Enterprises have global workforce, and they have created some VPNs for some users, but suddenly today they have to create it for thousands of users. And that's not possible in the VPN scenario. Either you have to commit a 5-year big cost for CAPEX based VPN implementation, or it is going to take a lot of time because today the logistics shipping of the boxes and others are completely challenged. So you can't really do that. So what is the solution? The solution is that we build this platform, a software platform which you can immediately configure, which you can immediately configure at the endpoint level, at the user level, and that can build a connectivity back to the platform and connectivity back to your application. This is completely end-to-end software, which will have connectivity back to the public cloud, private data center, maybe the RDP systems in your connecting back to your office environment, connecting back to users' laptops sitting at the home, and so on and so forth. We are going to have a special offer announced by ViBiCloud, but at the same time, when you are starting this, the initial 2 weeks will be a free trial period for you to really do the entire testing and so on. How does this really work, the work from home remote access thing? So if you see, there are 4 steps. The first step is going to be creating this, and this is I'm going to show you in the demo. The first step is going to be really creating a NetFoundry network fabric, a global network fabric, where you are actually build that console within 5 minutes of time. The second step is going to be creation of separate users, your application services. You have to create SAP or CRM and whatever kind of application services you want to access, all of them on the console. You have to create various software gateways, whether you are connecting to A cloud or B cloud. And then you have to install these gateways wherever you want to install these gateways in terms of connecting to your cloud or a private data center or offices. And then you have to then configure all of them together, stitch them together as explaining that how services needs to run, who is supposed to access which services. And this all is done in a process called application wide area network creativity. So when we create the application wide area network, we'll be able to define each individual components where individual clients, individual services, applications, clouds, all are connected to each other. And this is pretty much done within minutes of the time. So just to showcase it, that how this works, I will now take you to the platform, and we'll show you the platform, that how it really done. And so let me log into the platform for you. What we have done, since we are in a webinar, and it's important for you to really look at the live demonstration, but at the same time, we don't want people to wait, for minutes to just see that how Fabric is configured. What we have done is we have already created a ViBiCloud webinar fabric for all of you to really see that how really this works. But I will take you through a step-by-step process for you to understand how this remote work from home can be created. But let's first understand the platform. On this platform, as you can see, that there are a number of gateways defined here, clients defined here, groups defined here, services defined here, and application wide area network defined here. You can also see the network utilization. You can also see which of the user is using how much of data. You are also going to see which gateway, that means which cloud, which office, wherever you have created a gateway is using how much of data, and so on and so forth. Now, as I explained, there are 4 processes. The first is going to be creation of a network. Now, we have already created a ViBiCloud webinar network here. Now, on this network, we have already created rest of the gateways and clients and so on, but we will repeat it again for you to see that how it works. But just to show you the first process, we actually went and added a new network. And when we add a new network, we just say test VB new, just to showcase, and we just create it, and it takes few minutes of time. For example, now you see this whole platform is already created and you can start building on that. But however, we will go to the ViBiCloud one, which we created for you to see. The first process is that once you have created the whole global network fabric, when you create this network, essentially it creates multiple virtual machines across the multiple cloud platforms, and it creates a global super highway for you to really start moving your data from one location to another location. Now, once you have created the super highway, then it's important to then define where is my highway is going to be interjecting from, which are the cloud providers, which are the gateways, which are the offices needs to be connected to my global superhighway. We already created some of the cloud providers gateways here. So imagine if you really need to do additional one and say you want to create another Azure cloud gateway, maybe back in say Singapore, where you might be running your application, then you can create your Azure SG02 as a one gateway, and it literally takes a second to in terms of creating a new gateway. Now, it's very important that you can just click on the deploy to Microsoft Azure. If you're an Azure user, you can go into your account and you can just activate it, or you can just copy the registration key here, and you can click the install package. On this, you can actually go to our marketplace. There are all cloud providers marketplace available here. You can click on the marketplace, and then you can log in and you can activate through the registration key, which you just talked about right now. We just saw it. So once you have created a cloud gateway, let's say if you don't have a cloud, if you have a private data center, you want to create a gateway in your office in Jakarta or somewhere, you can actually go and use this virtual CPE. You can choose from here one of the location, you can add the gateway name. You can create in a similar way. Once you have created that, you can actually download the images. In fact, if I have to create a new one, and if I pick up where I need to say, let's say this one and say Jakarta Office 02 as this gateway. This is already, the gateway is created. I'll take this registration key. I'll go on the download package. And from here, I can actually have multiple gateway images, appliance images, which I need to really create. I can download any of these and I can actually start running the gateway in my office, and then the configuration piece can be discussed, that how this configuration happens. You can even use the Windows servers, certain model to really deploy these gateways. Now let's understand the next step. Once you have created the gateway, you have to go and add your individual clients. Now there are already a lot of clients which are there. Now clients looks like this on my laptop. If you see, this is my client running. The client is going to be on the user's laptop or a desktop. It looks completely locked right now, but if you see, click on the services. These are the services which is right now running on my laptop. 7 services. One of them is green, which is the speed test services, and my company has given me access to this 7. Now my company can revoke access from any of these applications any point of time. So as a remote work from home, I don't have to configure anything. So my company can keep adding applications here or removing applications here, and I'll have access of that particular application using this particular services. This runs in behind, it does it authentication, and user doesn't need to really do anything. So you can add clients by, Active Directory or batch file or so on. It's very simple. You can just give a name of the client here, select a region, and just keep adding. So maybe you can just add another one. Say you want to add in Kalimantan, and you want to create a client which is within Asia for performance optimization. Same way, the client gets created. Now you click the registration key, download the install package, and as we go to the download page, you have an option of Windows, Mac, and then there is a mobile option. This is the GT Tunnel, which is our mobile version, iOS and Android. You can actually download on any of these and start using it. So once we have created the client, the third step is you can create groups. Now these groups are that in a company, if you have finance, if you have sales, if you have different kind of groups, you associate these groups. For example, I can now say this Kalimantan client I've created. I have a client I've created in New York City before. I've created in Singapore. These three guys are supposed to be accessing in Azure Singapore application. So I create a new group, and maybe these guys are supposed to be my, say, procurement guy, and they are going to access a new procurement application. So it says name I have given wrong. So now I've created a procurement group. Similarly, I had created sales group and finance group before. You can create various group. Now these groups are those groups whom you want to give a specific access to application, and you don't want people to get confused. So sales guys get CRM access, procurement gets procurement access, finance gets finance application access, and so on and so forth. The fourth step, which is one of the most important steps, is to define your application services, different applications in your company. So for example, right now we have created an SAP on Azure, we have created RDP in your Jakarta office, and billing software in a data center, and so on. And there is a web server which Kapil has created to showcase, if needed, that how a specific web server need to be accessed, and so on. So it's very simple. You could choose from any of these three options for creating these application services. Let's pick up and say a new RDP host services. We select a gateway that, okay, we are going to do in data center in Jakarta. We give a new IP address here. We select the protocol types, and these deployment, we have got a total video defined that how these deployments are done. There are step-by-step processes, but it's very simple. Look, I am not a techie guy, and I'm able to do this myself. Same way you can do this. Any non-techie guy can do this with a little bit of help. So once you have created these application services, then there is a last step. The last step is where you need to really define all of this and configure all of this. Now there is where the magic happens. We have a lot of options of building these. People can create a remote application access by using the component builder APPWAN. We have got a simple cloud APPWAN available. You want to connect between two different cloud providers, say for example between Azure and Amazon. You can just click the cloud interconnect APPWAN, and it will create your automatic interconnectivity between two cloud providers literally within 1 minute of time. You can actually go to an S3 access for Amazon. You can, if you are a developer or DevOps company and you want to create your connectivity back from your development environment back to the cloud, you can really do that. If you're migrating from on-premise to any cloud, you can actually use cloud migration APPWAN. But let's look at the very simple one, which is a component builder. And I can say today, right now, test SAP APPWAN for ViBiCloud. I will say that my SAP is going to be using this procurement group. I will add the procurement group. Then I'll say that, okay, there are a couple of other users which are going to be accessing SAP. Let's say this user in Bintan, this user in Jakarta, maybe this is a Surabaya user, another one. These are the guys who are going to be using my procurement is let's say running on. Now I already defined the gateways in the procurement, but let's say if I am going to add 2 more applications for people to use, and let's say that application runs in the Google in Hong Kong, and these are my, say, this new RDP host application. This is the another app. I'm sorry, I have not created a Google, so I will remove the Google from here. I had created SAP on Azure, so I will add the SAP on Azure from here, Azure, and so I'll add SAP Azure, and maybe I should give another application access, maybe this web server access to all these guys. Now these are the services which you need to select, the access which you need to give to application to people. You just click on create. It is literally takes this much for building a remote application services, back connecting to clouds, back connecting to users. Now we are done. Our end-to-end services are done. We have created a software-defined network which is now connecting multiple cloud providers, your users, your applications, and so on and so forth. Now just look at this. this is already created. Let's say one of these I am going to right now change, which I created before. I've created a CRM one, and it was given to the sales guys. Now today I say that okay, my CRM is not going to be accessed by sales guys. So I click here, I remove the sales group. Now I say my CRM is going to be accessed by my finance guys. I will click and add finance. I will say I am moving my CRM from AWS Tokyo to Azure in Singapore. I will add Singapore Azure to this. And then simple, my CRM is already there. And I'll say that while I'm going to add CRM to AWS Tokyo, I'm also going to move CRM to Azure, but at the same time, I'm moving something back to AWS. So I may be moving the services to AWS, and I can actually save them. So essentially, it's a plug and play of adding clouds, adding users, adding applications, adding offices. Is that simple? So you are able to really do all of these configuration yourself within literally few minutes of time, as you have seen. Thousands and thousands of users can be created via this. I will probably show you one of more, which is a cloud interconnect, and then we will close this demonstration. Very simple. Let's get it started. I will say cloud interconnect. I will say which I want to connect to Azure Cloud. I already have Azure Cloud cell here. Oh, I have already created an Azure. These are the two gateways I've created. Say I want to connect Azure Singapore 1 to I'm going to connect to Amazon Cloud. So I already have two Amazon here. So I'll connect to the Tokyo Amazon. And let's give the IP addresses. And that's it. Now you will see the magic. The magic you will see is that the platform will automatically start creating various interconnect services. It will start creating a cloud interconnect network, and you will have to do nothing. And then you will realize that how a single console, a single platform has got capability to connect between a Microsoft Azure cloud and Amazon cloud by click of a button. And all of this is happening by the orchestration layer, an AI and machine learning powered platform. Now in 30 seconds, when it is completed, we will close our demonstration, and we will go back to the specific work from home offer. I hope you have understood that how it is useful and how it is easy to really create and work from home remote application access for users. You see, this is literally in 40 seconds, a cloud interconnect services is done between Azure and Amazon. And if I go back, you will see that these are the two cloud inter cloud 1, cloud inter cloud 2 is automatically created an application wide area network. And if I go and edit it, you will realize that there is a new service cloud inter cloud 1 service 01 was created by the platform itself. So it is actually a magical platform which really does most of the orchestration for you. So going back to our presentation, let's quickly understand that how this is different from VPN, because there is a lot of questions coming on in most of the work from home that how this is different from VPN. So you see the security model in VPN is perimeter. Ours is a zero trust dark network, which improves the entire security postures. A VPN doesn't do endpoint authentication for before connection. We do that. VPN doesn't do performance optimization. We do that. Encryption is single tunnel in VPN. We do multi-channel and dynamic, plus it is multi-network micro-segmented authentication. And there are many others, and the VPN literally reduces your performance, it reduces your throughput because of the security overloads. It is not able to respond to the internet core backbone issues. That means if your internet provider has any overheads or issues, VPN performance will go down. We are able to optimize because we are using multiple providers and so on and so forth. So there are more detailed explanation for comparison to VPN, the benefits to the VPN as compared to VPN, or even the various other SD-WAN options, that how our technology is superior to that. So now, just to understand what we do for the clouds, we provide the cloud connectivity, whether it's a single cloud connectivity, hybrid cloud connectivity, multiple cloud connectivity, so on and so forth. And then you can actually use it for any cloud providers, for any data migration, any application connectivity back to the cloud, or you just use it as a network as a service for branch connect, for remote application access, for work from home. Or if you are an IoT user, you can use it for connecting multiple IoT devices. Microsoft has created a connected car with Micron as a chip provider with us. So get on-demand, secure, programmable software-only app connections using NetFoundry. Here is the offer. Over to you, Mr. Toto, and let's talk about what is the special offer ViBiCloud is presenting to the market for using NetFoundry remote application access.
All right. Thank you. Dipesh, for your presentation. What a nice presentation. Oke, Bapak Ibu semuanya. Ya, jadi kita ada penawaran spesial, penawaran terkait dengan platform dari NetFoundry, seperti yang telah dijelaskan oleh Mr. Dipesh tadi. Jadi penawaran dari kami, kita memberikan start dari $4 per user per month. Tapi di situ memang ada untuk term and condition apply. Baik, Bapak Ibu, manfaatkan penawaran spesial kita karena ini sangat limited, dan juga bila memang nanti Bapak Ibu tertarik untuk mengetahuinya lebih jauh lagi, bagaimana sih saya bisa mendapatkan solusi dari NetFoundry tadi yang lebih bagus, lebih baik dari VPN biasa ya, dengan harga $4 per user per month, Bapak Ibu bisa isi link feedback kami. Nanti di bagian akhir akan ada pertanyaan untuk mendapatkan penawaran spesial ini. Oke, we can go on. Yes, dan ini untuk feedback formnya. Jadi Bapak Ibu bisa bantu isi feedback form ini, dan di bagian terakhir akan ada penawaran spesial kami. Bapak Ibu bisa say yes untuk menunjukkan ketertarikannya, dan tentunya nanti tim VB akan bantu diskusi lebih lanjut terkait dengan special offer kami.
Okay, great. So essentially what if you can just scan this, if you have any feedback, please fill that feedback to us. And now we are open for question and answers. We have got exactly 13 minutes left in our call. We will see if there are not enough questions and answers, then we probably look at some other use cases, or maybe Kapil can show you a little bit of demonstration of the web server connecting and mobile version of NetFoundry. So question and answers, please.
Here is from Mr. Iqbal. Can users connect to Azure and AWS simultaneously?
Yeah, I just saw that. I just show you that you can do that. Not just AWS and Azure simultaneously, but you can connect AWS, Azure, Google, Alibaba, all of that together.
Okay. Yes. Oke, ada pertanyaan lainnya Bapak Ibu. Yang lainnya bisa segera diketik saja untuk pertanyaannya pakai bahasa Indonesia juga tidak apa-apa. Nanti kita akan translate ke bahasa Inggris. Oke, Bapak Iqbal, berarti sudah terjawab ya Bapak Iqbal ya. Jadi bisa digunakan secara bersamaan, baik itu Azure, AWS, ataupun platform cloud lainnya. Jadi multiple cloud. Oke, baik Bapak Ibu, sembari mungkin ingin bertanya yang sedang dipikirkan, pertanyaannya apa, boleh bantu juga untuk diisi feedback formnya. Dan juga bagi Bapak Ibu yang tertarik untuk penawaran kami start dari $4 per user per month, bisa diisi juga di bagian section yang kedua di feedback form itu. Akan ada pertanyaan untuk special offer ViBiCloud dengan NetFoundry.
So what we can do right now,
Yeah.
Kapil, if you can take over the presentation and show the mobile client that how it is easy to use from mobile, is that possible?
Sure, Dipesh, I'll take that part. So thanks everyone. Very good afternoon. So what we have created right now is a pre-staged environment for you, but let me demonstrate something very quickly for you. So at this stage, we have created an application which is hosted in AWS, which is accessible on this public IP address. You guys can also try reaching out from your machines, which is 54.254.255.10. This is the public front of this particular stack. Now, this stack also has an internal IP address, which is 172.2925311. Now, if I need to reach out to this particular application on a private IP address, I can use that leveraging NetFoundry. So what I've done right now is I've installed a NetFoundry client on the machine, and I've created a service for this particular IP address, which is giving me access to this particular AWS hosted environment on a private network instead of a public network. So if I turn off my NetFoundry client, I won't be able to reach to this page at all. So this is how you are creating basically a private trunk all the way to AWS from my machine here in India. Now, the same thing can be replicated even from mobile devices as well. So let me demonstrate one simple instance for you in that sense, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to deploy a new client for myself. And in this client, let's assume that I want to access the same environment on a private IP address from my, or a private URL from my machine in, so from my mobile device in India. So I'm going to create another device, like I have created two already, one for MacBook, one from iOS. I'll create one for Android as well. So I'll say this is Kapil Android. I'll select the ZT capable. That's the name that we use for our clients. I'll put it in Asia and I'll click create. Now, while it does that, I'll try to join or try to share screen from my mobile device. And let me know if you're able to see that.
Not yet, Kapil.
Just opening that. So you should be able to see my mobile device right now.
Not yet.
Okay.
Do you have your sharing?
Yeah, I can see it on my screen as well. Guys, can you see my mobile device on the shared screen?
Yes, I can see your mobile device. Yes.
Good. So now I'm going to add another identity which is created for ViBiCloud. So as you can see, this is the new identity what we had created, and now I want to add that new identity. So it will ask me to scan the QR code. I'll click on that, and then I'll scan the QR code on my laptop. And it will say enrollment successful, as you can see at the bottom. So now, if you can see, the enrollment is successful and my device should have come online on the console itself. So let me go back to console. And show you that. Okay. So can you see that my Android device has already come online and it is already enrolled to my specific device? Now, what I'm going to do is I want to make sure that my device is able to access an application that I've just created for today's environment. So let's see the parameters of that application. So I will go back to my services, and the application name that I have given for this specific use case is ViBiCloud So let it open and I'll show you that. So here I have created a Hello World web server, and the application name that I have given is ViBiCloud Now my intent is to make sure that this app is only and only reachable from my device as if I am connected as a remote user working on this specific application. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'll go to my AppWans, and in my AppWan, I'll edit my existing Hello World AppWan. And earlier I had only added two endpoints, which was my iOS and my laptop. Now I am going to add the, as you can see iOS and my MacBook. Now I'm also going to add my Android device into that. So I'll add Kapil Android. And we all want to access the Hello World web server, and I'll click Save. Now this will take around another 30 seconds or so for it to update itself. And once it updates, I will again share my phone screen and will show you that how this application got accessible from my phone. And I'll be able to open this web page from my mobile phone as if I was connected to a private network. So give it around 30 seconds or so, and I will share my screen from my mobile. Now, as Dipesh mentioned, all this can be automated as well. So you can create like thousands of users as well, specifically for a BCP planning. It also supports RDP as a protocol. So if you want to just make sure that your users are accessing their office machines from remote locations, you just enable a client for them, enable RDP as a service, and they should be able to access their laptops in the office without moving anything, without changing anything. So this works like a very, very smooth and easy to access tool. So it's much more easier for you to roll it out on a very short notice for a large organization, and again remove it once you are not using it. So it's absolutely a usage-based platform. There is no restriction as such for you to lock into a long-term contract as you would have might incurred into a into the long-term contract with a standard telco offer. So this is something which you can start leveraging using NetFoundry. Now let me see if I can show you from my iOS in the interim. So let me share my screen on iOS device. So guys, can you see my screen?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So now here again, I am going into my ZT Tunnel app, and you will be able to see that Kapil iOS as a client is now getting connected. So let it get connected. It'll take around another 10 seconds or so. And once it gets connected, I will have the available services listed here in this particular tab. It's still building up, it's still building up. So let it finish. It is still partially available. So let it finish, and then you should have this available. Meanwhile, any questions on the security part? I already circulated a document which would answer most of your questions specific to the security and the performance part. It also is a document which is very easy to understand because we have used a very, very standard basic language to draft that document. It will most probably answer most of your deployment related queries. In addition to that, I have also circulated a document on, the video link on a demonstration that was recorded by one of our partner in local language in Indonesia. So that could also come handy if you are trying to do something on your own. In fact, I highly recommend you do one more thing. While it sets it up, let me just quickly show that to you. So we have created a self POC page, which is called Hello World. So I strongly recommend anybody who is trying to, test NetFoundry. This probably is integrated natively with AWS, but you can do the similar thing with Azure as well. It gives you a free trial account of NetFoundry. And in addition to that, you will have 10-step process to test out things yourself. So whatever process and steps we explained you today, you can also go through them one by one and test it end to end, the Hello World environment, which we are trying to show you today. So the process will take around 15 to 20 minutes. And what all you need to remember is netfoundry.io/Hello World. So I highly recommend you give it a try and let us know how it works. Any questions so far? Because we are running out of time and I don't think it's ready yet. Any questions? I can take that right now.
There's a question from Mr. Albert. Is there any free demo to try in AWS?
Yes, that's the link I shared earlier. So let me share that link on the chat itself. So this is the link. This will give you a free AWS trial account worth $300. Anyways, NetFoundry resources are free. So you can use your existing accounts as well. And also you can use a NetFoundry free trial account worth 7 days and it's for free.
Okay, thank you, Kapil. Semoga sudah menjawab ya Pak Albert Suwandi. Oke, baik, akan dicoba. Alright. Anyone yang ada lagi yang mau bertanya? Dan jangan lupa ya Bapak Ibu bisa mengisi feedback form kita. Jadi feedback form kita linknya saya akan share kembali. Jadi bila Bapak Ibu juga ingin mendapatkan atau ingin lebih mengetahui lagi, lebih jauh lagi terkait aplikasi atau solusi dari NetFoundry, you can fill that form and say yes to our special offer in the last section in that feedback form.
Okay, so Kapil, should we finish this session now?
Yeah, Dipesh. So basically, I was just trying to finish the configuration part. So as you can see that now my client identity is already enrolled. And as a remote user, I already got the application to ViBiCloud demo as an application, and I'm already connected to that network. So if there was a private service or private application that you wanted to extend to your remote users using NetFoundry, it will behave as if the users are sitting in the LAN environment. While doing this, the standard office traffic will not be impacted. So here I will be able to reach to this page called vbcloud.demo.io, which we created just 5 minutes back from my iOS device, from my Android device, and even from my laptop, even if it is sitting on a private subnet. So that's the capability NetFoundry gives you to use any application from any device anywhere in the world within 15 minutes. That's all from my side, Dipesh.
Great. Thank you so much, everyone, and appreciate you all joining this excellent webinar, Arrange My ViBiCloud, the next excellent offer for all of you to subscribe to remote application access for your work from home challenges today. I wish you all good luck, and please feel free to communicate with giving your feedback with the ViBiCloud team. And we see you soon. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Hi. Thank you, Dipesh and KP, for your great presentation and demo. We will see you soon. And terima kasih juga untuk Bapak Ibu yang sudah berpartisipasi dalam webinar kita kali ini. Sekali lagi, bila ingin mendapatkan special offer kami, start from $4 per user per month, bisa diisi itu feedback formnya kita. Yes, dan juga untuk memberikan masukan juga untuk webinar kita supaya bisa lebih baik lagi untuk next webinar yang akan kita selenggarakan. Baik Bapak Ibu, untuk sesi webinar pagi ini kita sudahi saja dan sampai jumpa di webinar series kita berikutnya. Semoga selalu sehat dan dalam kondisi tetap produktif Bapak Ibu. Terima kasih dan sampai jumpa.